my experience of living in a safe house, I moved in July last year, moved out 2 weeks ago. So I was there for almost a year, and it's a really, really bizarre way to live, especially when you're used to your independence or your own environment. When you have to flee, you leave very quickly, and for a lot of women it's kind of almost within 24 hours you pack a bag, and you're told to just pack a bag and turn up to the office because you don't know where you're going, you don't know where the house is. And then you go through all the signing the papers and you get taken to a house, you get introduced to anyone that's there at the time, and you get shown your room, and that's, you have a single room in a shared house, and whatever you've managed to pack in a bag, and that's it. You're living with people who have been through traumatic experiences. So there's obviously going to be mental health effects later on because of that. I live with one lady who had extreme paranoia, to the point of she would question me every time I came in. I wouldn't choose to have my son in that environment, but then it's still a better environment than what we were in before. So it's a real kind of contradiction for you to kind of work through. For me, my mental health started kind of declining after about 6 months. It kind of keeps you in a state of victim. It stops you from being able to move on from what you experienced. And you get kind of a few months in, you think, I'm doing all right, I'm doing much better, I'm feeling better. But as the time drags on, you can't progress, and you can't have friends come over for a cup of tea. It's really difficult, and quite often you're moved far away from where you've been for your safety. So you lose support networks, friends and family and things like that. So it's very isolating, and it's you lose hope. You lose hope and everything becomes when I get out. So it's like life is on stop until you get out of safe house. I think the reason women are staying longer and longer within safe houses is there is no kind of council housing available anymore. There's a few, but the numbers are decreasing and decreasing. So council housing stock or social housing stock is much less than it ever has been, and there's much more competition and much more demand for it. Bristol City Council placed women in safe houses in Band 2, which is not the highest of priority because they see it as you're adequately housed. So that means that you're going to be waiting even longer before you can get rehomed. The people that move in that have got work end up decreasing hours or having to quit work altogether because they can't afford to stay in a safe house. So anyone in safe house pretty much completely relies on social housing to move on, and social housing isn't available. So it's just a cycle of no hope. It's the victim that has to go. It's the victim that has to leave everything behind. It's the victim that loses their whole life and has to start from scratch. I think the campaigning that I've done and finding my voice has almost helped my recovery. It's kind of empowered me to realise that everything that happened leading up to it was not my fault. I didn't choose for any of this to happen. No, the system's not working and the system's not great. But instead of just accepting that or letting that continue to make me feel bad about myself, I need to try and change and do something about it. So in a sense for me, it's not my duty, but I feel even more empowered to do it because I'm doing it for everyone else that would like to do it and can't, because they're too scared. They're too scared to be out there. I've brought a son into this world, and I feel very kind of a big responsibility to ensure that he grows up knowing that equality is equality and people are people, and regardless of age, gender, race, any combination of anything, we are all people, and we treat each other with respect. So my name is Mehala, and I am empowered, strong, and a survivor.